This morning's speaker involved with an organization called Inspire West Virginia. Inspire West Virginia. And it's a nice fit with our program, and this is the second year that she's presenting at our program. Inspire West Virginia is a program about community service involving young leaders. So, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Chelsea Costello.
Thank you, Randall. Obviously, I was being sarcastic with that enthusiastic introduction. Randall, he's very excited about everything here. So, good morning, boys. It's really great to see you all again here this year. You all are maybe a better looking bunch than last year's Boys State. I don't know. So, first of all, thank you for inviting me back. Thanks to the West Virginia Legion and Boys for inviting me back to speak to you about Inspire West Virginia. You all are obviously already young leaders in your state, in West Virginia, and at your schools. And I'm here, I represent another organization, Inspire West Virginia, like Randall said, that is also doing similar work to empower and support West Virginia's next generation of leaders. And we had multiple student ambassadors last year at about 16 high schools in West Virginia. So some of you, raise of hands, have you ever been to West Virginia before? Yeah? So I know some of you out here have applied to our program, but maybe some of you have registered to vote or even pledged to register with student leaders at your high schools, our inspired leaders. And so one thing that our organization does is we're here to really support you all and connect you with the resources for you to turn your inspirations into action. And so you work on voter registration projects along with action project. So it's not exactly just community service. We want to think about problems in your community and at your school, and then create a project around that that's taking it a step further to involve officials and to really try to push policy change in your community and have a voice in our government. So before I tell you ways that you can get involved with us, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and how I got involved with civic engagement work. I'm a painter, and I loved painting. And then also through going on mission trips with my church, I realized that I loved connecting with across different cultures. And so after I graduated from WVU, I served in the Peace Corps for 2 years. And I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Ethiopia. And technically, and I know Natalie Tennant was talking about Djibouti earlier, Ethiopia is a little bit below Djibouti over by Somalia and Sudan. I lived in Ethiopia, and I was there to technically be an English teacher trainer. And then after a few months of living in my small town towards the Sudan border, my job kind of evolved into more of a direct teacher and a mentor with high school students your age, and specifically more female students, to empower them to move on to preparatory school and to have more in life than just marriage and having children. And with my students, one day I was in our English club, our local high school's English club, and we were debating random topics in English. And so I threw out the topic, let's discuss government. My students to discuss the current prime minister at the time, Melissa Zenawi. And the students were just silent. They're all your age, and they didn't say a word in English. And then they weren't even speaking in their local language, Amharic. And so we moved on from that topic. And a boy approached me after class that day, and he said, you know, Chelsea, you can't expect us to speak about the government in class. We can't do that. And it was the first time that I realized, oh my gosh, like, these kids, they're so involved. They were involved in their communities. They talked to their neighbors. They went to the they sold goods. They bought goods. They were very, very active citizens in our town. Yet they couldn't have a voice. They didn't have a voice in their government. And one thing that is so beautiful about West Virginia is that all of us have a voice. And that you guys know that we do have a voice is through voting. And I know the Secretary of State, Natalie Tennant, she was here and she spoke to you guys about voting and the importance of going out to vote. And talked to you about being prepared to react. And so what's one way that you have to prepare to vote? Register. I heard somebody just say it. Yeah, so you have to get registered to vote. That's the first step to being able to have a voice. And so one thing that, back to Inspire West Virginia, our organization, one thing that if you are an inspired leader, you work on voter registration and getting your registered to vote at your high school in order to then take that next step and have a voice in our elections. And so our student leaders work on achieving the Jennings Randolph Award given out by the Secretary of State's office. And that award is given to schools who get 100% of students at their school registered to vote. And I know St. Albans, Nitro, our Lincoln County School, a lot of schools, I think Wirt County High School got it this year. So only 4 high schools in Virginia. Not a lot of people know about this award. But of those 4 high schools that achieved this award, 3 of them were because of inspired leaders in school doing peer-to-peer voter education and voter registration. And another thing besides the voter registration piece that Inspire West Virginia leaders do is a civic action project. So it's the community service piece that Randall was talking about. Our inspired leaders, they think about problems in their community and at their school, and they take those issues and they think about the causes of the issue, and then pick that cause and create, develop, and work on a project around that cause of the issue, and we tie it in with voter registration. So maybe it's the fact that, I don't know, you don't get enough AP classes offered at your high school. And so we want to develop a project to go, get students to go to the Board of Education office and talk about that. And then in the back end of it, you have all this voter registration to show your efforts and your action. So that's kind of what we do with Inspire West Virginia. Right now, actually, our application is closed for next year, but because you guys are this wonderful pool of amazing leaders in West Virginia, we're going to open it up for Boys State. And so if you are interested in maybe learning more and maybe becoming an inspired leader at your school for next year, we accept 3 juniors and seniors at each school that we're in. And you can find us online, and I'll be around here later to talk to you more if you want to learn more about it. But it's just another opportunity. I know you guys are doing so much, YLA, Boys State, GHA, sports, everything that you're involved with. And this is just another wonderful opportunity in West Virginia that's being presented to you. And so thank you again for having me come speak today, and I congratulate you all for being here.
On behalf of American Legion Mountaineer Boys State, for her selfless service to others in this world, and for encouraging involvement in many activities which will be pertinent to our mature lifestyles, we would like to present Ms. Costello with this commemorative American Legion Mountaineer Boys State coin.